Yeah, I think the big thing is that there's a battle going on between hunters. This guy hunts private land, or this guy hunts with a bow, this guy hunts with a rifle. And the fact that we as hunters continue to build these massive fences in an age and in a time when we are under a massive attack. We should all just stop. We're all on the same team. So we're heading to UU Bar. We're in New Mexico right now, and the Express UU Bar is it's a pretty incredible place. It's an extremely large ranch. I don't know how large, but it's one of the old historic Western ranches in the U.S. Yes, this is a private ranch with tons of wildlife and an amazing elk herd. Does that give me an advantage as an elk hunter? You bet it does. But hear me out before you judge. Such a large piece of property that they take such good care of that it truly does spill over to the entire region of the state. Elk do understand hunting pressure. They do seek refuge on a lot of private ranches. There's no mistaking that. They're not dumb animals. However, the overall health of the elk herd, and when hunting season is not happening, these elk don't pay attention to that. They live and they thrive all over this part of the state. And I think that as public land hunters and private landowners, we should really have a true appreciation for one another. We both help each other meet state management goals for wildlife quotas. The other thing that private landowners do for public land hunters is they help manage wildlife herds, a considerably higher age class of animals that public landers get to hunt. I mean, unless you think they're going to stay there all night, but they're really moving.
No, they're coming down pretty good, so I think our best bet is to go all the way around and come in off the bottom side down here.
And it may be an ambush situation. I mean, there's that one big herd bull kind of in there,
right.
You know, but I mean, he may not be callable, but if we can get the wind in our favor and they file by us, you know.
You bet.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. I went hardcore public land, 2,500 feet of elevation gain last week in Idaho, every single day to start the day. And you didn't come back for lunch. You brought a sandwich or snacks or whatever, and you hunted for, 14 hours, and it was awesome. And one of the things that I struggled with this week coming here was the fact that I knew that I was going to miss that. Being out, as crazy as this sounds, 14 hours a day and maybe not seeing an elk and hiking 5 to 7 miles. One of the things I was missing was the fact that I wasn't going to be sleeping under the stars and I wasn't going to be cooking my food over an open fire. Those are things that I truly enjoy about being an elk hunter, and I haven't always enjoyed them, but I really enjoy them now. So first evening out, I've got elk 100 yards in front of me. It doesn't matter where you hunt in this world, that's a pretty good start.
This guy's going to be tricky to get a shot on, but stranger things have happened.
It was a heck of a first day. I think if we hadn't called, we might have been a little too trigger happy, because if we hadn't called, I think they would have just filtered right down by us. But we wound up calling, and then that alerted them. And there's just sometimes when calling's not the smartest thing to do. But what a crazy, awesome place. Unbelievable, awesome place.
Now, I've hunted a lot of public land, and I'll be the first to admit that evenings like this on those public lands are not as common. Even though these elk have the freedom to roam anywhere they want, including public lands, they're probably staying put here tonight. That's good news for me, but the impact of ranches like the Express UU Bar go much, much further than great elk hunting and habitat. So this is Cimarron, New Mexico, a small town of 900 people a few miles away from the UU Bar Ranch. Located at the crossroads of the Santa Fe Trail, it was a true Wild West town in its day, bustling with the likes of Jesse James, Annie Oakley, Bat Masterson, Wyatt Earp, and many others. Things have settled down since then, but the St. James Hotel stands as a reminder of days past. Not long ago, the doors to the St. James were almost closed for good, until Express UU Bar Ranch owner Bob Funk Sr. stepped up to the plate and bought the historic hotel. Not so much as an investment for himself, but as an investment for the town of Cimarron.
Hey, I walk in here and I look up and there's bullet holes in the ceiling. I mean, they're everywhere.
The history here is phenomenal, especially if you dig deeper than just the surface stories.
Yeah, it originally existed because of the Santa Fe Trail, but now it really exists because of Cimarron, New Mexico, and outdoor recreation.
Outdoor hunting, fishing.
What happens to this area without hunting?
Basically, the town operates off of the influx of people coming in and out of here, and hunting being one of the primary reasons that people visit the area. It adds to the taxes, which supports the schools. There's not very many other industries in this local area, so they highly depend on those type of activities. Or I believe that it would go away and the people would move out to be able to chase what money they'd be losing.
So, turns out, hunting impacts more than just conservation. Who knew? All kidding aside, If you dig a little deeper, you'll find all kinds of examples of how hunting affects places just like Cimarron, New Mexico, all over this country. I guess most of us just don't think about it that much, but the people whose jobs depend on it are well aware of the dollars that hunting and fishing bring into a community. And quite honestly, they don't care if it's private land or public land. They just want a job. I took a drive down the road a little further and stopped into the local airport for the region of Cimarron.
So out of all of the planes that come in and out of the airfield here, I mean, like how many of them are hunters?
I'd say about 85%.
So
Or
you're
probably
85%
hunting or
of the planes.
recreation, fishing, shooting, something.
That's I mean, I don't guess it's not crazy when I think about it, but it kind of is. That's a really, really large number. Those animals and these ranches, and that's kind of the big thing is, like, you know, they provide for you and your family, and for your maintenance guy and his family, and, you know, they just create better schools and better gas stations and better municipalities, and I mean, you name it. It's a pretty insane circle.
UU Bar Ranch owner Bob Funk knows the importance of that circle. That's why he also bought this airport when its doors were also about to be closed 3 years ago.
I'm just so lucky to have the opportunity to see such an incredibly well-managed piece of property that, from a habitat standpoint, from an elk management standpoint, from a deer standpoint, antelope, you name it, this place has the flora and fauna that their dreams are made of. So a lot of good elk action, so let's go.
You might not believe me, but it really doesn't matter where I hunt, as long as I'm still able. It's important to understand that all hunters have a responsibility to ensure we can continue to hunt. It doesn't matter where or how, it only matters if.
It was one of those rare times when things just line up absolutely perfect. The wind was great, everything was great. It just was shocking.
There's kind of a bedding area right here. It's starting to get warm. We're still inside the first 10 days of September, and I mean, it's warm, warm, warm. He just bugled. He's right here, so we'll see if he's gonna respond. I mean, we just found a really, really big bull.
can't even believe it. I can't even. Oh my gosh. I don't know what just happened, but thousands of arrows have been shot all summer. Can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
How do the private ranches and the public landowners really truly get some sort of appreciation for one another because they both serve such an important role?
That's a good question. That adversarial thing has got to end, obviously. We're all hunters. Even though we're running large pieces of private land, we're still all hunters. And even the hunters that come on the UU Bar, we're still hunters. We still enjoy that sport. There's got to be some common ground, and we usually will meet at a RMEF banquet, and we sit down and talk and visit about what's going on in the hunting world. I think most hunters, as far as I can tell, most hunters understand that if we can improve hunting and it spills over into the adjoining units, you got to understand some of the reasons that occurs is because of the good management on the property.
He did. He bugled one time, and we set up right here, and he just came in hard.
We are all hunters, and it is just that simple. If it all goes away, I can promise you, it won't just go away for the private land hunter or the public land hunter. It will go away for both. And if we don't stick together, and if we don't stop building fences, I promise it's going away. So you pick. It's up to you.